Well, today we are trying to make a better pull box. So I'm going to tack this on here with these super sharp and small tacks. They've got a fairly big head, so you can actually push them through just about. And if not, we can hammer them in. So this is going to be bent over like this. Now it would be better, I would say, to have thumbtacks, but I couldn't find any. So let's carry on placing these tacks here, and then let's see when it gets heated whether the heat and the tacks hold and pull the mold into place. So we're hoping that when this shrinks, now I think I could use extra tacks, but we're hoping that when this shrinks, these tacks are going to hold. So we're going to now stick this in the oven, and hopefully it's going to, when it gets hot, it's going to shrink and pull onto this form. And then when it's pulled onto the form, we're going to push down on this, and it's going to squash that, hopefully nice and flat. So let's switch our oven on to 200. 200 is easily good enough. And let's place this in the oven. And when it's shrunk, we're going to take it out and then squash it flat. So the plastic's gone completely clear. I'm going to put this on top of it, and then I'm going to sit on it and let it dry while it's got the weight of me on it. Well, I've sat on this till it's become, I hope, somewhat dry. It's still quite warm. So we've taken that off. Let's pull the tacks out. Now this is still quite hot. Wow, but it has this come beautifully smooth. This is the first almost professional looking weekly pull case I've made. Just look how beautiful those cavities or indentations are, with a smooth, so the weight pinning it down, and we almost have the correct shape for, we just have to trim this off. Well, that is a lovely looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day pull case. I'm really impressed with that. So we've been practicing compression molding and getting closer to perfection. I don't think anyone has ever accused me of being a perfectionist and got that charge to stick. But we've been using doing compression molding. This is the male form, this is the female. We've pushed the two together. This is called the cavity, this is called the form, I believe. And the product was a super lot better than any previous molding which I've done. Here it is. Here's the sliding where the pulls go. Absolutely smooth and great. So what did I learn from this process? And I've looked at quite a few videos on YouTube, but I've never actually seen anyone do what I'm doing. So I've learned something from the videos, but I haven't learned how to do this particular thing. So we're learning as we go along. So what I learned was certain types of plastic work. This is number 2 plastic, or LDPE, HDPE, high density polyethylene. So it comes from a milk bottle and it seems to work perfectly. And what I found this time is you've got to nail or tack the plastic over your form or your mail mold, and then you place it in the oven, and just as it goes translucent, just it's, the timing is critical. It's just a matter of seconds really. You take it out of the oven, and then I squashed so the plastic was tacked over this, then I squashed it together and sat on it. That made it really come out lovely and smooth here. I've never had smooth plastic before, so I've learned a lot from that. You don't want to be lifting the molten plastic and placing it on the form or the mail mold because it crinkles. So you want it in place, and in place that HDPE, then as it gets heated, it stretches nice and taut and it also gets thicker, and then you squash it down, and wow, perfect. So I think there's a lot that can be done with this. I'm really super chuffed. Now, you know, as I say, no one's accused me of being a perfectionist, because I think perfectionism stands in the way of just getting things done. And eventually, if I had to go into manufacturing, you would demand perfection, because no one's going to buy something that looks scruffy. But while we are prototyping and in the process of development, perfectionism will just stand in the way. So I don't strive for perfection in anything except maybe moral character, loving God, loving man. Those I consider important, but not in any tangible thing like, you know, being fantastic and perfect at any job, or your house is spotlessly clean, or this, or, you know, in so many areas you're perfectly dressed. Who cares? Who cares about so many of these? Anything physical, I really don't care about it. But perfectionism in morality and, as I say, loving God and man, I think that's important, because even the good book says that which is wanting cannot be numbered, and that which is crooked cannot be made straight. So the world is just full of everything that's crooked, and we do our best to make our plastic, for example, straight. And, you know, there's no limit to the number of things that are defective in this world, in this physical world. We're not trying to create a perfect physical world. That will come after the millennium. In fact, the physical world is passing away, and all the love of all the things that are physical is also passing away, and the only thing that's going to be left is our moral character. So that's the one thing I think we should be focusing on perfecting. So anyway, this has been such a lot of fun, and I really have enjoyed this plastic molding, and I have a few more ideas regarding it, but we don't actually compression mold or use molten plastic, but we get it to a point where it's just nice and soft and pliable, and then we squash it, the mail mold, the plastic between. So I've been recycling my milk bottles this way, and I'm very happy with the product I've now created.